What is up, guys? You already know. Welcome back to another David Jacorn video. You guys saw the title, so you already know what we're about to get into. We're going to be talking about my life in the military 3 years later, guys. I am still in the Army to this day, guys. I wanted to give you my update and how I'm feeling right now. If you've been on this channel long enough, you guys know that I started making Army content way back in January 5th, 2019, guys. Since 2019, I started creating content here on this channel. And ever since then, guys, it's just been history since then. Just a bunch of videos, a bunch of different transition, and a lot of growth. And I just really want to talk about those things today. I really want to harness and talk about how my life has changed for the good and the worse, for both sides, man, here on this video. In today's video, guys, I'm going to be super transparent with you guys. I'm going to give you a little bit more insight, not only about me, but about the things that I value, the things that I respect, the reason why I joined the military, how I feel about the military right now, my advice to those that are joining the military, my advice for those that might not want to join the military. I'm going to be answering all those questions in today's video. So if you have a question even similar to anything I just listed, you want to watch this video all the way to the end, guys. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you hit that like button down below, because guys, it supports the channel, and make sure that other people that want to get this type of information can see it as well. But without further ado, we're going to hop right into the video. We're going to start from the beginning. Let's start from day one. So I've officially arrived at the airport. It is 12:16. My nose is stuffed. Yeah, I'm extra early, of course. Let's see, I've arrived. Plane and stuff. Actually, it wasn't a hassle at all getting into the airport. I would think it would be a little bit harder. I gotta get used to vlogging in front of people. I'm pretty sure people are gonna be looking at me crazy and stuff, because like tonight, used to people vlogging out here and stuff like that. But you know, the grind is definitely, I gotta put in the grind. 3 years ago, I created this channel where I began to document my journey. But honestly, guys, the journey did not start there. It started 4 years ago, back in 2018. Guys, I was a 19-year-old kid. I was growing up on the north side of Houston, Texas, where I was just simply trying to find my imprint here on this world in my life. I wouldn't say I was moving without a purpose, but guys, I feel like I was just moving in my own direction, doing things that I felt like was right at the time for me, and really at the same time trying to enjoy myself. And I was focusing at the time, I was real big on music, so I was making beats. I was real big on using Photoshop back then too, so you know, I can advertise my work. So that was really like not really my first introduction, but I will say that was my first time taking my entrepreneurship serious, and I really did want to get inside the music game. So I did that every day. Every day I just really went hard on the fact of trying to do something for myself, because at the time I wasn't interested in working a 9-to-5, and many of us are not. But at that time, like it's still that way to this day. But honestly, right then and there, like 9-to-5 was not the way to go. So I really pushed hard to be an entrepreneur. And guys, I went many routes. I mean, many routes. I can name all of them now, but for what use, right? As useful as they all were, it still wasn't enough. It was never enough. I felt like no matter what I did, I felt like it was never enough to satisfy my urge. And you might ask, what is that urge? And that urge was basically a desire to simply do more, go further. And I felt like if I stayed where I was at, it was no doubt that movement wasn't going to come anytime soon. And honestly, I could have expected the worst. I decided to make a change. With that change, guys, it came to me in a different form. The Army was something that I was not really thinking about at all, honestly. It just came from me doing endless amounts of research. Like, I'm a research king, guys. I love research and I love seeking information. At the time, I'm really trying to find something that can get me out of my current situation and put me in a new environment. And I really believe that was going to be the answer to the cancers within my life. A simple get up and go move transition that was going to allow me to be in a new environment, allow me to have fresh ideas and enable me to basically go further. Honestly, I can't really tell you how did I end up finding a recruiter, but just know that that recruiter came at the right time. Because honestly, I will say I wasn't on the wrong path, but I damn sure wasn't in the right path. And I honestly needed a switch. So I got my recruiter, introduced me into this new lifestyle that I knew nothing about. And even though words are very powerful, honestly, it's completely different than what a person can tell you about the military than what you experience for yourself. And honestly, that sentence holds weight because one person experience in the Army might not be another person experience in the Army. They can almost be similar, but I guarantee you they will never be 100% the same. My recruiter is hyping this Army thing up, and I'm like, damn, this is perfect. He's telling me everything I need to hear in regards to what I need at that time to get me in the Army. And guys, I ended up signing that contract, and I made it happen. And guys, I flew out August 14th, 2018. Yes, guys, I flew out on my birthday. On my 20th birthday, guys, I was on a plane on my way to South Carolina, where I was going to start my Army career. I didn't know what to expect. And honestly, that was what made the journey so powerful and so inspiring, is that I didn't know. The words that this recruiter told me, that the Army might be the start to go more. So signed the contract. I'm flying out. I got a lot on my mind. I'm excited, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared because I don't know what the hell's about to happen, man. I have no clue what the Army is, what it consists of. So I land, and guys, I make it to reception, and it starts there. Honestly, it's a major culture shock. The way that reception and basic training is, guys, it was just completely different than anything anybody has ever told me. But at the same time, even though I heard the good and the bad about basic training, about reception, about, basically my intro transition into the military, I don't regret one bit about that process, because I learned so much, not only about myself, but I learned so much about how teamwork works. And not to really narrow in on basic training or anything like that, but I think everybody should have that experience, should have that basic training experience, should have that drill sergeant experience where they have these people that's holding them accountable. And that's simply what it is. You're going to learn to be held accountable. In this process, I'm learning, like, I got flaws, because honestly, at the time, I didn't think, my stuff didn't stink. I felt like I was doing pretty good for my age. I always got high praised and all that. And I think that's really what made it kind of hard to be at the level that I was at, because I wanted to go more, because people seen me doing more and I see myself doing more, and I wasn't there. So I was like, all right, I got to make something happen. Signed the contract, flew out, bam. Immediately I'm thrown into this ricochet of everything. Fast paced, man. Army is just moving. Nobody cares about what you was doing before you showed up. You're here now, and this is your new life, and you just got to accept the way things are going. And yeah, we just got right into it. And next thing you know, I did AIT. I'm on my first duty station, man. My first duty station is in Baumholder, Germany. And guys, that's when the whole journey began. As soon as I got out there, guys. Not even before I got out there, guys. This video right here is shot the day before I flew out, like, to go to Germany. Well, the day that I flew out to Germany. And yeah, it was really just the beginning of a long journey. So guys, immediately once I touched boots on ground, I knew what I was there to do. I made it to Germany. I said, not only was I going to fulfill my contract, but I was going to create this dope YouTube platform that was going to give people the insight on what goes on in the military from the start to the end. I wanted to show you guys from a beginner perspective of what you can expect to see and what you need to know. And I immediately started documenting, guys, and I still kept at it. I kept at it for a very, very long time. And yeah, that was really just like, it gave me purpose. Like, I felt like I was doing some good. Like, not only was, I was making money for myself, I was finally making like legal, sustainable money to maintain and take care of myself. I had a car, had a good savings. I had, I was taking care of my people. Everything was just going right. Everything was in the right spot. had this YouTube platform that's slowly growing, but at the same time it's growing. I'm like, damn, and I'm putting in massive hours, guys, crazy hours into building this channel, creating these videos, sneaking and create videos, staying up late before I have to go to work to create these videos. And the drive was really there, and the hunger was there. And guys, that really fueled me. This whole little circle around me was just a consistent grind, and it gave me purpose. And I felt like that the Army actually gave me that fulfillment that I desired so long ago back in Houston. And I did this for a long time. I did this at least for like a year. For a year, I actually felt like my purpose was fulfilled. I'm here on my channel, not only striving to get paid. I'm not getting paid at all from the channel, guys, not at all. I'm simply doing out of what if, basically, out of the fact that I know that I can get to that point, and I just continued to grind until I got to the point to where I was like, I'm gonna get paid for this one day. I'm gonna make money from YouTube, and I'm not gonna stop until I start making money from YouTube. I'm like, damn, like I finally did it. Like I'm finally where I wanted to be. And honestly, I was there. I was exactly where I wanted to be. I was making good money. I wasn't broke. I was doing something meaningful that was bigger than myself. At the same time, I was doing something that I enjoy. Honestly, guys, that's all you can really ask in life. I was doing something that I enjoyed, and I was around people that cared about me. You know, I had my boy Mike, had my boy Haynes, and you know, all these different factors in my life that was making me happy at the time. And then it's crazy, but then it all seemed to weary out. It came a point in my life to where I felt like all this stuff I had done simply still was not enough. I got up, I told myself I wanted to do more. I did more. I signed a contract. I flew over. Got there, things was hard. I could have quit. I've seen many quit. I said, no, I want to go more. I kept going. I finished my basic training, went to AIT. I wanted to go more, finished that, made it to my first duty station. I thrived there. I was a PFC. I wanted to go more. I ranked up to specialist. I was like, I want more. I always wanted more. And that mindset not only fueled me, but it kept me purposeful because I always had purpose. But then it came a time in between when I was becoming a specialist and a sergeant. And I realized everything's not green on the other side. For the most part, my career was pretty flawless. I still don't have a scratch on my record, but for the first time, I was introduced to individuals that didn't reflect how I reflect, that didn't, carry themselves how I carry myself. And I was in a pretty sticky situation. If you guys want to hear about that video, make sure you leave a comment down below, and I'll create that video giving you a rundown on that story. I reached a point in my career that was an obstacle, but it was a shock at the same time because I didn't think that me coming to this new environment, I was going to be exposed to that type of conflict anymore. But I was, and honestly, it let me down. And if we're going to be very transparent, I would say it kind of gave me a bit of a depression because I no longer felt the need to create these videos anymore. And if you guys know, I created a video saying like I was basically no more creating Army videos, and honestly that video is the result of what I went through. And I felt like I don't want anybody to join anymore. I don't want anybody to have to experience this, and this is just all the stuff that's flying through my head at the time. And yeah, and I just wanted to shield you guys, and I was like, yeah, I'm done. The pride was gone, the love was gone, everything was lost. I let it go, and I just started creating all type of content. You guys seen it. I really wanted to vlog. I started creating a bunch of vlogs, try some experiments, just trying to different stuff. And if we're gonna be completely honest, guys, it flopped. It flopped, right? And that's like it made the hole deeper. Not only was I already in a low state, once I realized that the numbers that I was used to getting wasn't coming in anymore, that kind of put me in a lower state. And as optimistic as I was still down, and I felt like I really couldn't dig myself out of the hole. So instead of improvising and figuring out a way to overcome that, for the most part, I will say I gave up, honestly. I continued to create videos from here and there, but honestly, we all know that the passion wasn't there. I was simply just creating just to create, but the love for it wasn't there. The drive wasn't for it there. And honestly, I was in a give up state, and I was just doing stuff to do stuff. And people can read that, and the energy, the universe can feel that. And that's why you won't, get that type of that love that you used to, that type of result that you used to. So, and yeah, I just stayed in that stage for a while. I operated well, still maintained myself, but it was still something daunting always on my mind. But on top of that, guys, it wasn't just the YouTube channel. It became bigger than that. I realized the decision I had made to move so many hundreds and thousands of miles away from my family was not a sacrifice that was worth what I got in return. And not only did I lose my purpose, I felt like I was losing connection with my family. I felt like I was surrounded by stuff that didn't reflect me, because after I saw one, I saw many more. And then I just started seeing really the infrastructure of how the Army was. And I was like, I can't be a part of this. And that really became a big issue for me on every daily basis of how I operate. Like, I was like, I can't be a part of this organization no more because it is flawed. And just so many different obstacles, man. So much. Finances. I felt like I wasn't on top of my finances like I used to be. Just everything that reflected me and everything that was important to me, I felt like I neglected for one simple goal. And it took a toll on me, honestly. It really did. Maybe I should have just stopped and took some time and really tried to understand what was happening. But I didn't. I just kept rolling and kept pushing. And honestly, I just kept digging a bigger and bigger hole for myself. So once I realized the things that, at least what I thought was affecting me, okay, I thought maybe getting back to Houston would be the way to combat my feelings the way that I feel right now. Maybe if I get back to Houston, everything will be better. And guys, that gave me a small burst of happiness. And I was like, okay, just keep going forward. Once you return home, everything's going to be better. So all these problems that I'm combating over here in Germany, I'm thinking once I make it back, everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be cheese. I'm just doing my thing. I'm continuing to operating. And you guys already know I met Mook in the process of all of this. We're growing our relationship. At the same time, I got my own little internal issues that I'm trying to handle on my own. Now I'm thinking once I touch down in Houston, I can make this stuff work. I can get back on to the pace to what I was doing. So eventually, guys, that time came. It took some time, man. It took some time, but eventually that time came. And just last February, guys, I was finally back in Houston, finally surrounded by my friends. And guys, it was great. I had a great time. It was amazing. Things was just going as expected, as planned. I didn't feel as stressed, and it was going in the right direction for like the first couple of days. So guys, once getting out there, everything was like a fantasy. But then eventually I had to get set back into the reality of the reason why I left in the first place. So although I left, the problems that were still harnessed still at home were still around. They hadn't changed too much. Some things might have, coexist. But for the most part, everything was still there, still relevant. And immediately I started feeling the same way that I felt back in 2018 when I first flew out the first time. Like, I realized the reason why I left that environment in the first place, because it wasn't me. I can handle it because I can handle anything, but it wasn't me. So I had to get around something that was more so like me, that walked like me, that looked like me, that talked like me, that wanted to go more, you know what I'm saying? So immediately I started getting reintroduced to those the old sceneries that I was used to seeing. It was nothing new. I knew what it was, but I started to feel the same. And once again, I'm combating this. I'm still carrying myself, but I'm still fighting this internal war within myself on my own. So the time came to finally leave. Now I'm thinking, okay, once I get up out of here, go to my new duty station, maybe my problems will go away, get around a new work environment. I'm no longer in Germany. I'm getting away from my old problems from Houston. Once I go out here to Missouri, which I'm currently stationed at, My problem's gonna be lesser and da 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 and all this stuff like that. And I get here, and guys, once again, it's great. It's going great. Everything's great. Everything's good. But crazy, I still seem to find problems here as well. And that's when I finally came to the final realization: the problems will never, ever, ever go away, guys. They will just change depending on where you are in your current state in your life. And that is a good and bad thing. But the constant decision or the constant fight that you give yourself to think that if you up and move to one other location that all your prayers are going to be answered is the wrong idea. But that's what I thought. But now that I'm here, honestly, I am in a better state compared to the last two places. So that is improvement. But I still got a lot of work to do. I still got a lot of stuff to figure out. I still got a lot of go want more. I want to go more. I want to do more. And I'm still in that battle. I'm not in a sunken place anymore. I've seemed to come up on top of the ground, and I am beginning to build my empire, brick by brick, stone by stone. Things are looking up, but the truth was, the army was not the answer to my prayers. It was a smidge patch of happiness for a short amount of time. And honestly, I'm still in my decision of getting out of the army, and it's for multiple reasons, but I just really wanted you guys to understand how did I end up to this conclusion. It's not because the army is just the worst place on earth. Some people can really do well, and a lot of people do well in this organization. But for me, I realized I gotta go more, and I can't really go more in the military. Well, I can, but it's gonna be a hell of a struggle, and it's just not worth it. I'd rather put all my efforts into going one more on something I want to do. But now we're here. Now we have to figure out what the next level is. I'm excited just as much as you guys are, and I hope you guys are still interested in giving the army a try, because honestly, it is not a bad opportunity. At least one time, man. At least one time in your life, you need to sign that contract, sign that dotted line, and try something new, because I've seen some stuff that I thought I would never see before. I've seen Luxembourg, I've seen Paris, I've seen freaking Poland, I've seen Romania, I've seen Bosnia. So you will be introduced to some things, and those will be part of your story. Those will be things that mold you. So make sure that you're open-minded to trying out new things, but also don't forget the core values. And guys, I felt like I forgot the core values, so I have to get back to those things, and that's why I'm making my decision to get out. But without a doubt, the story is still open. The book is still being written. Who knows where we're going to go from here? I'm excited. We're going to see how this go. I just hope you guys tag along to see how this go. I'm out.